Don the Don Don is not anime of the year and is not particularly close. And with its season one wrapping up, it's laid a fantastic foundation for the series to be one of the top tens in anime history. It definitely has a chance to surpass My Hero Academia right off the bat because due to the fact it has an actually likable main character. Argue with yourself. But to get more on track, somebody say, hey, Board Talk, who is anime of the year if not Dan? Well, fear not, I, Board Talk, or the supreme opinion that will guide you back into the righteous and actual path to anime of the year. Due to you being led astray by other creators pushing the Don propaganda and misleading you into thinking there's nothing better that came out this year. And I shall now enlighten you on the actual best anime of the year, which is
Shangri-La Frontier.
And long story short, Don. L plus ratio. To start though, I know many of you watching this video have seen the Don, so I'm not gonna recap it. But alright, to keep the recap short, Shangri-La is about a gamer who is in a community of people who go around and play trash games or games with bad reviews and try to beat them 100%. But one day he gets bored and decides to try a S tier game out. S tier games is what they call games that are fantastic or almost flawless games, for those who didn't know. But he tests his game out, and that's pretty much what the show is about. The S tier game he tries is Shangri-La Frontier, and it's about him taking an unorthodox path to it, if that makes sense. Like, he isn't game busting the game, he isn't like game breaking like one of the greatest gamers ever to touch the land type, but he takes unorthodox paths into clearing the game or discovering previously unknown parts of the game. Off the bat, it's not a typical shonen, as in like it has a path to power. Yeah, he got to get stronger. He got to do this, fight this person to get stronger and stronger. I mean, it is like that. It's a game, but it's not, you know what I mean, life or death type situations. Not like the stakes is not as high as a typical shonen like Hunter x Hunter or a Dragon Ball Z where the world gets blown up in that case, in the latter's case, but it still manages to draw you in due to the low stakes. But it gives you a good feel of high stakes situations where the way it builds its atmosphere and things of that nature. Don does also do that. I'm not trying to discredit it by saying it doesn't have stakes, but I'm just saying where in terms of Don, it's a bit more goofier, but I don't mind because I'm a One Piece fan, so I'm not adverse to goofier anime. But it's something about Don. I'm also not a big alien fan. Like anything having to do with aliens, UFOs, I'm really turned off from that kind of thing, which is a reason it took me so while to get into Don, being that one of his first episode had to deal with aliens, and that's not my thing. So I didn't want to really give it a try. Like a Diddy victim before he takes a shot with him, but also like a Diddy victim after taking a shot. I was open to it. I enjoyed it. Unlike them. Pause. Let's take a weird turn. But to compare the two shows, their stories, both of them not really a story-centric show. I know neither one of them is really a story-centric show. One in Don is about a kid. They run into some aliens and a witch, and he get his balls stolen. Now he gotta find his balls or banana organs. And the other being a gamer trying to clear a game. So it's clear neither one of these shows are winning Anime of the Year based off their story. Another thing that would put Shangri-La over Don is, especially in its earlier seasons, is that Shangri-La has an explained power system. I know it's stuff we don't know yet about the game, like they dropping hints about the developers leaking stuff, other abilities yet to being achieved. But for the most part, the power system is established. Don. I know it's only season 1, but the power system is lacking. Like, I'm not saying it got to be a Hunter where it leaves whole paragraphs of explanation or exposition, but I'm saying it got to give me more than what it is shown now, where it just showing me people getting abilities. How did he get his ability? How did she get her ability? How did hers awaken? They just not really explaining or vaguely explaining it, and which is not particularly an issue, but I prefer a established system will make us feel like more like the writer knows what he's doing instead of pulling stuff out his unmentionables just for story's sake. Alright, to continue further, another thing I have Shangri-La doing better than Don is characters. Don does have some good characters. I like the Granny, Momo, and Kentaku. But outside of them three characters, I really don't find any of the other characters was likable or even enjoyable. Like the mean high school girl, the ex-love interest for Momo, the speed granny, just none of them really moved me. Even the scene with the ballerina, it didn't do anything for me. And on the contrary, Shangri-La has many characters I enjoy outside of the main cast or main couple. I'm like, really? I'm not trying to glaze it or nothing, but it's one, maybe has one or two characters I don't really enjoy, or I don't really care for. But nah, for the most part, it has almost everybody introduces is interesting. And say, I know an argument somebody might say is Shangri-La has way more characters, or has introduced way more characters into the story so far. But my thing is, I don't care how many characters you have, but I'm just saying the ones you do introduce, are they enjoyable? Do they catch in my eye? Do I care for them? Do I want to see them succeed? Do I want to see them fail? For the Don characters, outside of the three I named, most of them I don't really care for, and that's a problem. Because if you're going to have a short season when you only introduce a few characters, those few characters should be able to hold my interest, should be very captivating, I should say. And they just aren't. They don't have any funny moments. They don't have any interesting designs. There's nothing about them I find too intriguing, and the creator did try to give them some gimmicks, but I just felt as those gimmicks fell flat, or to me. And since I just addressed it a little bit, the comedy of the shows is somewhat equal, I should say. And Shangri-La isn't. It has comedy moments. It's not taking itself too serious, but it's not particularly trying too hard to be a comedy. While on the other hand, I feel like that's what Don season 1 set out to do, be a comedy while also giving you action and story. But the comedy of Don doesn't always hit. I'm not gonna say none of them hit. I did catch myself giggling out loud on a few occasions watching the show, but I did the same for Shangri-La. But one thing I will add is Don also had some moments where it tried to be funny, and it just had me stone faced and kind of irritated me a little bit that the joke was so bad. And the last thing someone might bring up on why Don is better than Shangri-La is his animation. And I will concede that Don animation is superior to Shangri-La, but one thing I will add is, at a certain point, yes, it does look beautiful, but the animation at a certain point does plateau. Like 2K, after so many years, like 2K19, 2K20, 2K21, 2K22, isn't going to look drastically different because the graphics is always good. How I would compare Shangri-La to Don is like, if Shangri-La is 2K22, Don would be 2K25, 26. Like, yes, it is going to be better because it improves over time, but isn't significantly better or that much noticeable, to be honest with you. And also, Shangri-La kind of has better fights than Don. Even with worse animation, his fights is coordinated better and just look more fluid. Or it doesn't look more fluid, it looks like similar fluidity to the movement. So in conclusion, like I said, Shangri-La is better than the Don, and I would give it a board score of about 8.2-ish. So not a 10 out of 10 anime, but it's up there so far. And for Don, I would give it about like a 7.5, maybe 7.6, feeling generous. But yeah, it's not terrible. I didn't say it was terrible. I'm never going to slander Don. It's a great animation for season 1. Hopefully it builds upon some of the issues I've stated in this video, and it elevates to that top 10 anime level. I have nothing against it. I will be waiting, and I'm excited for season 2. But right now, going on season 1 alone is not better than Shangri-La. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Comment your opinion on what the anime of the year is, and have a blessed one.